Hey, welcome to another tutorial. I'm Phillip Haumesser, and today I'm going to be showing you how I prepare to edit photos. So I've got a quick little family photo pulled up here, and I don't just pull them up and start editing them with no thought as to what the outcome is going to be. I want to put a lot of thought into my photo, and the idea is you want to have a focus point in your photos. And so obviously the focus point is my subjects here. And so anything that's distracting from that, I want to do something about it to keep the focus on them. And a couple of ways you can do that is, well, if you just look at the thumbnail, you can see if you zoom way out, this kind of what is your eye seeing? What's pulling your focus? And usually, your eye sees light first and color second, and then everything else kind of follows after that. And so I see a few things here that are pulling my focus away. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer real quick and grab my brush tool so I can kind of show you, kind of circle. Okay, so I was talking about light pulls your focus away first. So first thing my eye sees is this light right here, whatever this is. This is a building right here, and I don't know what this is right here. And so this building right here is a little distracting. And this discolor, I don't even know what this is. Light coming through the trees or something. It's not the sky, I don't think. It's different colors of the sky, so I'm not really sure what this is, but it's pulling my focus away. And also this right here, not as much so, but a little bit. And then another thing that's really distracting is this clump of grass right here. And I kind of wish this photo had something with a bright color in it, so I could use this as an example. But I've had a lot of blue trash cans in some of my photos. I don't know why. Somehow blue trash cans always end up in my photos. And you can either remove those, or if it's something that you don't want to remove, you could desaturate it, because bright colors will pull your focus right over there, and we don't want that. And so the other thing I've noticed, this photo is tilted. So like here's this tree line here, and this tree line here. Whoops. Is a little bit crooked, so we want to line that up a little bit. It won't be perfectly straight with this, because I noticed like if you go off, sorry, I'm not good at drawing straight lines. If you go straight down from there, that's more straight up and down. That's a really bad line. There we go, that's a little bit better. So we want this to be more up and down here. So this part here won't be as straight. So, and then down here, I've noticed there's a lot of negative space. Where did my mouse go? There it is. A lot of negative space right in here. So we'll probably want to crop it up a little bit. Try to keep them in the third up there. And so now we have a plan of what we want to do here. I want to get rid of these distractions over here. I want to get rid of this clump of grass. I want to crop it and straighten it up and get rid of this negative space. So I'm going to go ahead and make a duplicate of my layer here. I'm just going to turn this off, but leave it there as a reference. And first thing we're going to do probably is grab my quick selection tool up here. And I'm just going to make a quick selection of him, if it'll let me. It usually does a really good job at this, but not today. Today it's really doing a really bad job. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to get a selection here so I'm not cutting into his shoulder or his head when I'm removing these. And I'll just copy that in there. So now we've got that there. So now I can grab my clone tool. Press S is the shortcut for that. It's a hotkey for that. And now we can just paint that right out of there. And what do I want to do for this here? It's too dark. Okay, so we got rid of those. Let's come over here and get rid of this, and I'm going to grab my patch healing brush tool here and just select this whole thing and drag it over, something like that. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my clone tool. I'm going to sample over here and start getting rid of some of this. And this gets a little tricky when you don't have enough to sample. It can get hard because you can start getting patterns. And patterns can be more distracting than the distractions you were trying to get rid of in the first place sometimes. So, okay, I don't see any repeating patterns. Actually, yes, I do. There's this blade of grass here and here. Let me get rid of one. And now I've got that blade of grass. I think that'll be okay. As long as nobody looks at that too hard. And the discoloration there, I don't care for that. Let's see if there's anything I can do about that. Actually, I think I'm just making it worse. If I grab my brush tool and sample, maybe over here. I'm just making it worse. Okay, it's good enough. Where's my... Go back to my clone stamp tool, see if I can't get some more from over here. Okay, that's better. All right, so we've got the distractions gone now. So we got rid of those distractions. Now I'm going to crop it. I think I'm going to go for about like that. And I'm going to pull up over here to get rid of some of that negative space. And I thought if you held if you hold control, it should snap to the ends. I really hate Photoshop's cropping tool. I'd much rather use Lightroom for stuff like this. For some reason, it doesn't want to snap. Maybe I have it turned off somewhere. Anyway, we'll go with that. Okay, so already we're looking way better. The distractions are gone. The focus is more on him. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is when I'm doing my planning, I think about, is this with my white balance? I can warm this up a little bit, or I can cool it down. And I want this to be warmer. So it's a nice summer day, and it's pretty bland. This is shot raw, straight out of the camera, and so there's a lot we can do in here. We'll go ahead and, actually I'm going to go ahead and combine these two layers so it doesn't mess things up. I'm going to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and you can change the mood drastically by changing the temperature of the photo. So I can, what I want this one to be warmer. And warmer, it's just happier and homey, and it's just, that's a good feeling. Whereas if you turn it colder, it could feel sad and lonely. So you can add a lot of emotions by doing that, things like that. So I'm going to turn the temperature up to about 15, and bring the exposure up just a hair. Bring the contrast up to about 4. And I'm going to pull the highlights down just about all the way. I'm going to go about 85 because I want to pull. The sky is blown out, and I got those highlights up there. That's also pulling for my attention, but you can't really do much about the sky unless you wanted to replace it, which I have done at times. But pull the highlights down; it'll help with that. And then shadows. If you pull the shadows up a little bit, that'll help expose their faces a little bit better. And then pull the blacks down to about there. That'll just give it a little more depth. I'm going to turn the vibrance up to 15. Because when you shoot in RAW, it actually comes out a little desaturated, and you can get that color back by boosting the vibrance. I don't touch the saturation. If you boost the saturation by 15, it's gonna look, the colors are gonna bleed a little bit. I don't care for that. So I'm gonna click OK, and there we go. I feel like it's a little on the bright side. So now from here, you can just start doing little edits. I'm not gonna do a whole lot because that's not really what this tutorial is about. But we can mess around with it here a little bit. add a little bit of a vignette. In fact, I would, what I normally do, and I usually do this in Lightroom, you could drop the saturation a little bit on the edges, and this also will help with your focus point, because I can, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint that off of them, just kind of around them, so the edges of your photo are slightly desaturated, so that because your eyes see color first. Now, since the edges of the photo are slightly desaturated, that will help your focus go to your subjects even that much more. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a vignette. It might be too much. So there we go. Just a few simple things, and I would do a few more things to this, but I'm going to stop there because this isn't about editing the photo. This is about my preparation for editing, and then just very quick. So we went from here, and I'll move my deal up here, and we have our preparation here, our plan, and then we have everything we've done to it here. So kind of here's, oh, where's the, oh yeah, I already cropped it. forgot about that. So there we go. That's how I prepare my photos. That's how I prepare to edit my photos, and that's how I plan my photos. And if you do this consistently, instead of rushing through it, it'll really help your photos pop a lot more. If I hadn't thought much about that, basically all I would have done was those few adjustments here, just to pull out the color a little bit more, probably. The distractions would still be there. If I hadn't really thought, if I was in a hurry and just went in here and did that and had no plan, I probably wouldn't have cropped it. And so just by planning like that and giving a little bit of time, sometimes I will even stop here, save it, and then come back a few hours later or even a day or more later, and your eyes you'll come back with fresh eyes and see it, and you may see things that you didn't see before. And that's one of the things that really helps a photo stand out is planning and actually taking the time. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I was hoping to keep this short. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Make sure you subscribe so you see new tutorials as they come out, so you're notified. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.